Hello! Anthony here, and today guys, we're building Springfield. Yes, week number 19 to building Springfield. This week, what I'm hoping to do is continue upon building more of the Kwik-E-Mart, if not entirely complete it. Time will tell if we're actually able to get like the back half of the roof complete, the rooftop itself, and some of these shelves within the interior added in. And now, other progress. While it's not exactly what you guys might expect here, as you know, in week number 18, I mentioned that we're going to be focusing upon building the police station and the facade for Android's dungeon and all of that. I think given the fact that we're moving away from the shelf layout and moving onto more of an expansive table layout again, things are going to be changing in regards to the back facades. So because of that, I don't think it's necessarily important to focus on building the back facades of Springfield when I have other progress that I want to prioritize, which is the Simpsons house. We have built it and it's looking really nice. However, for one thing, I want to get the actual foundation of the Simpsons house built in this week's episode, so the actual MILS plates. In addition with potentially revamping the interior. We may do that in this week's episode, or maybe in next week's episode, but I kind of want to go back to the Simpsons house and add in some of those smaller details that we never added, with modernizing a couple of the rooms that I feel like could use a bit of an upgrade. Anyhow, let's get back to building the Kwik-E-Mart, see what progress we're able to make there, and then move over to the foundation of the Simpsons house and see how the end result of that will turn out. Let's begin. Kwik-E-Mart is now all complete. The interior is in place, the rooftop and roof all done. The only thing missing are the stickers, which we're going to apply once the entire mock is complete. That is because of the flaking issue. I'm just putting them off until the very last moment, and once we get that permanent display and everything already set up, then we can apply the stickers. But for now, we're leaving it a little bit blank. Apart from that there, this set is super nostalgic, one of my favorite LEGO sets ever, and I am very happy to have this built once again in the LEGO room. Now with the Kwik-E-Mart all complete, let's move on to the foundation of the Simpsons house. Construction on the Simpsons house foundation has now begun. And as you guys can see, there is rather quite a lot going on here. But once I do explain what all of this is, it would all begin making a lot more sense. First of all, I've decided for my Springfield layout to be over 2 base plates deep. I'm thinking this is the perfect middle ground between it not being too big or too small, and we should be hypothetically able to fit everything that we want to fit into this depth right here, and then we can extend the sides of the mock out a lot more, but ultimately, time would tell if this type of a layout would work. Other than that, you may have noticed all of these bricks placed around these 4 base plates. All of these are placed very strategically, so if you are familiar with the MILS plate system, you would know that essentially we would have like the base plate layer, a layer of brick, and then a layer of plate going over the top of it. So when we would attach a layer of plates, when we would push down, nothing would warp and everything would be nice and solid as it should be. So that is something to take into account with a MILS plate system, and the whole point of it being a MILS plate system and how structurally integral it would be. I've as well added a lot of plates going on top of these bricks right here. This area is where the Simpsons house will be going, so it doesn't necessarily have to have like the grass overlay going over it. And so because of that, I'm just putting down whatever plates I have, and as long as it's a nice and strong foundation for the Simpsons house to be sitting on top of, it doesn't really matter what plates we use over the top of these bricks, but the perimeter does matter. The road will be placed over these plates right here and would be stretching across these 2 base plates. And then parallel to it, we will be having the sidewalk going in the back, so it will be slightly elevated from the road. Oh, and I've as well added in a handful of these 1x2 cheese slopes. That is for the driveway, and for when cars would pull up into the Simpsons house, you would have a much smoother transition rather than having like a 2 plates tall sidewalk, as you guys can see off to the side here. So it is always that slightest bit more detail. I've also built the brick wall that we see in the show, and we'll be attaching this onto this area of the build once we get the grass placed on, but just for now, for concept reasons, here's how all of that would look once we put it all together. And that is where we are right now. So now, let's complete this foundation, and soon enough, place the Simpsons house on top of it. Let's get building. The Simpsons house MILS plate is all complete. I've added in the remainder of the road. The sidewalk is now all finished off, the grass all in place, and the garage floor is added in, which my original Simpsons house is missing because there is no connection points for it, so the MILS plate will take care of that and have the attachment points here. As well as adding in some of these smaller details like the mailbox and the brick wall off to the side there. Unfortunately, because of how we're compacting this entire creation so much, the front yard of the Simpsons house will be missing. That is something to know, but I'm thinking that that shouldn't be too big of an issue here and it won't be significantly noticeable. So even without it, the creation should look fine. And now let's take the Simpsons house and put it on top of the MILS plate and see how everything looks. Afterwards, we're probably going to make a bit of a layout towards what this entire creation as a whole will be looking like. So that is also something to look forward to in this video. Let's do this. And here it is, guys. The Simpsons house is now added onto the MILS plates, while not entirely connected onto it just yet, because I do want to do some modifications within the Simpsons house, which will probably happen at this point in next week's episode, where we're once again going to go back into the model and then modify some of the rooms, add some things, and all of that there. Anyway, that's all for next week's episode. This is looking so much better with the MILS plate, and it adds so much more character and life to the creation. I am really happy with how this is looking. Now with this module complete, let's take it and arrange it into our newer table layout of Springfield and see how everything would look in relative comparison with each other. And here is the new Springfield layout. I'm thinking the Simpsons house is fitting in rather very nicely here, and when combined especially with like Town Square, the Kwik-E-Mart, the police station, it's all coming together. However, when it comes to Moe's that we have off on the side over here, I don't know, I feel like there could be potentially a better location for it, somewhere integrated in here. Because with Moe's being such an important building, throwing it off on the side here, not entirely sold on that yet. But if you guys have any possible suggestions on where Moe's could possibly fit in here, leave them down in the comments section below. In the back, as I mentioned earlier, we'll be having like the facades going behind the buildings. So this is where we're going to see a silhouette of the power plants, the Springfield Penitentiary, Springfield Elementary, and all of that there going in the back. And that is something to look forward to, and creating all of those facades in future episodes. But that is it for this one. Let me know what you guys think of today's update with the MILS plate and the completion of the Kwik-E-Mart. As always, thank you so much for watching. Keep on building, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.